Test. Okay, now it's working. I don't know what that was, guys. Sorry about that. I've been having a lot of trouble with this microphone. I'm just gonna have to buy a new one. I was thinking that it was just a software issue, but it's starting to seem very much like a hardware issue. Means I could send it away to get it and get a replacement, but that usually takes like a week, and I'm not going to go a week without a mic, so I'm just going to buy a new one. Sorry about that, guys. Let's so what I was trying to say was I'm feeling a little sick today. I got a bit of a headache, so it's just a continuation of being sick last week. I basically don't really want to stare at my screen for too long. Everyone else can hear me, right? I know most of you said it's working, but yeah, so I don't feel great. Therefore, this webinar is going to be short. I'm just going to go through things real quick, and then I'm going to end the webinar. Thing is, I don't want to stare at my screen. I've got a headache. Staring at a screen makes it a lot worse. As you know, is normal when you have a headache. Staring at something bright is just not that fantastic. So I'm going to do this analysis quick and wrap it up. So let's get started. First things first, USDCAD. I was in a trade here on USDCAD. Well, I am in a trade, sorry, here on USDCAD. I shared it last week. It's still going. It finally made some new lows today. So I'm just holding this one, waiting for it to hit my target down here. My target's actually at 2R. I had it a bit lower here, but my target's now at 2R. So that's the target I have. Gold, it's just not really doing what I want it to do, so I'm going to close. I still haven't closed this one out, but I am going to close this one out very soon with just a little bit of profit. So around about here is where I'm planning to close out. It's just basically what I was looking for on gold was a clear break of this peak. Why isn't my drawing tool working? That's why it's not working. There we go. Sorry guys, lots of technical issues today. It seems. So I was looking for a clear break of this resistance area here, or more likely this high, more accurately this high here. So I wanted this high to be broken, the 174785. It just never broke. So this trade's not doing what I wanted it to do. Therefore, I'm going to exit with a little bit of profit. All these other ones are lower time frame stuff, so we can ignore those for the most part. I don't think this one's still a trade. Let me just clean this list up a little bit. Yeah, there we go. So let's look for some new setups on the daily, see if anything new might be forming. So first of all, AUD-CAD. Seems like price is stalling out on this resistance area. I'm not too sure about this one. I don't even really like this resistance area, truth be told. So let's just see how this one plays out. I'm not overly interested in that one. AUD-JPY seems to be stalling out on resistance also. But it does look like this one has made new highs, so it's probably going to continue up. But it's worth watching. It's worth watching, but yeah, I'm not going to mark it as a potential trade because it's highly unlikely that it will develop into anything. AUD New Zealand, this one's pushing up quite quickly. Yeah, but there's just no potential trade there. Could have entered a bit of a breakout trade or something, but it's too late for that. AUD USD, this one's just broken through resistance. It looks like AUD is climbing up quite a bit. But yeah, no trade that I see there right now. Didn't really check GBPJPY and GBPUSD. GBPUSD is pushing up to this resistance area. I'm very curious to see what happens when it hits this resistance area, because we could definitely see a short forming from here. Or if it manages to break through and clear this resistance area, we could definitely see a potential long trade somewhere there. But I'm way more interested in taking a short trade if it stalls at this resistance area. I'd really like to see this develop into a bit of a channel here on the daily. That would be quite good. So yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on GBPUSD. EURGBP looks somewhat interesting. It's stalling out on this support area here that formed. Well, it has some history, but it had a pretty significant bounce around about 2 weeks ago. So that one looks quite interesting, actually. Yeah, there's definitely potential for a long here on EURGBP. Let's keep a close eye on that potential long there. Did I discuss USDCAD, or was that when the sound wasn't working? I can't remember now. Was that when the sound? I think that was when the sound wasn't working, right? Or did I discuss it after? Please remind me, because yeah, right. So I don't think the sound was working. But you say I did mention it. Okay, I'm getting mixed messages here. Apparently I've already discussed it, but I haven't already discussed it. So I've got no idea what's going on with that, but I'll just go over it real quick again. Like I said, I have a headache, so it's hard to remember things. It's hard to pay much attention, really. So yeah, I entered short here. This one's on its way to target. I'm just going to hold on to this one. It finally made a new low today. So yeah, it's a solid setup. It's on its way to target. There's not much else to say about it. It's a good setup. I'm going to hold out until it hits its target. My target is 2R for this one, so I'm going to hold on to that. And I'm pretty sure I discussed gold, where I said I'm going to get out of this one because it's just not doing what I want it to do. And then we're going to switch over to the 1 hour charts to discuss. Is there a way to do this real quick? I wish I could get, you know how I'll do it? Like this. I just want to get the same list on here, so I'm hoping this works. Yeah, there we go. So here we have the 1 hour charts. Let's take a quick look for 1 hour setups. Now I'm currently in a 1 hour setup. That would be USD JPY. I'm going to switch these on both the lists. USD JPY pushed down quite a fair bit. It didn't quite hit target. and it looks like it's turning around right now. I'm going to hold on to it. I'm not going to get greedy and jump out. Yeah, this is a trade I shared yesterday along with EURGBP and GBPAUD. Both EURGBP and GBPAUD did not work out in the end, but they were quite easy. I'm sure most of you got out of this one at break even or something, because they were quite easy to get out at break even, given that they spent like a good 9 hours just moving sideways at the break even point. It was quite clear that they weren't going anywhere. Or 7 hours, really. Well, no, technically, it was 9 hours. Because this candle didn't really hit the stop loss, and then it came back down to here. So there was plenty of opportunity to exit this one and GBPAUD. Neither of those worked out. I don't have the drawing here for GBPAUD anymore. And also EURGBP one changed a little bit when I adjusted the support resistance areas today. So it didn't look like this yesterday. I think it was more something like this yesterday. But yeah, neither of those worked out. But USDJPY is doing quite nice so far, so just hold on to that one. Let's look for some new setups on... I'm tempted to give GBPAUD another go because the trend is pretty strong. If it's able to push down today, I wouldn't be surprised if it continues to move down. I'm definitely tempted to give GBPAUD another go. I even said yesterday when I was entering that I would rather see it pull back and continue down, because that's normally what gives you a stronger setup. And we didn't get that pullback yesterday, and I entered anyway. But now we have that pullback and it's going down. So this is a much stronger setup than it was yesterday. I'm definitely tempted to enter this again. I probably will on a break of this green line here. What I would do here would be, and keep in mind, guys, these 1 hour chart trades, as I've explained right from the start of these things, they have a higher loss ratio. So your win-loss ratio is going to be somewhere around 50%. So you're expecting to lose half the trades you're getting in. Just the thing is that your targets are usually 2.5, 3R. So just from the fact that you make so much more on a win than you lose on a loss, that's where this becomes profitable. And also the losses, you tend to get out at break even or with like a very minor loss. You're not usually taking that full loss. So your average loss comes out to, let's just say, for example's sake, 0.5R or 50% of what you risked, where your average win comes out to like 2 to 3R. So on average, you're gaining 4 times what you're losing, essentially. So that's where this strategy is profitable. It's not in the amount of trades you win. It's in the amount you win versus the amount you lose. So those 2 losses yesterday, it's not something that I'm really too concerned about. And it's not going to stop me from getting into a GBPAUD trade again. Still looking for that same trend that failed me yesterday. Right, so now that I've said that, I'm looking to go short here on GBPAUD if it manages to break. The trade would look something like this, roughly. I mean, it's hard to say until it actually breaks how I would trade this. This is just a rough guess of how I would do it. So right, so where are we? USDJPY. So purple means it's a 1 hour chart setup that's potentially happening, and orange means it's a daily chart setup that's potentially happening. It's just some support resistance areas here on EURGBP. Obviously time for a bit of an update to support resistance here. This looks about right. Kill that. So, is this trending is the question. Kind of, yeah. It's a very definitive trend, but it's coming up against some major highs on the daily. So I'm actually not going to trade this one. I'm not going to do anything here on the 1 hour. When you're contending against those major monthly highs on the daily, then you're going long on the 1 hour chart just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Now, this one doesn't look too good, but if you wanted to be in this, you would have already been in it. It's a bit late now, so. Don't really see much here either. Yeah, I guess these areas make a bit of sense. They're not the best support resistance areas. Is this even trending? Oh, it's very much trending on the daily. Did anyone enter this long here? This was a pretty solid long breakout on AUD/USD. 8 a.m. this morning. You did? Nice. Was this shared to the chat room? Because, for those of you who don't know, because I'm sick, I haven't really been on the chat room as much as I would like to. Ugh, those are some old support resistance areas though. Don't really like placing such old support resistance areas on the 1 hour. But whatever, they're here now, let's just leave them. Alright, it was mentioned in the chat room, that's nice. It's nice to see you guys are taking some really nice trades without my input in the chat room. Thank you very much, Bridget. Has it hit target for you guys? Because it definitely looks like it's hit target. That's a very nice share. Thanks for that. Always try to target 2.5R on those breakout trades. 2R is a little bit too little. You're looking for 2.5 to 3. Because that really ensures that even if you're only winning 30% of them, you're still going to be profitable. Now, obviously, the goal is not to win only 30% of them. That would be really bad. But I'm just saying, let's say you have a really bad run and you win only 30% of them. So free trades 1, 7 trades lost. Now your losses are averaging out to half of your original risk, so that's 0.5. So multiply 7 by 0.5 equals obviously 3.5. Now your wins are coming out to, like, let's say 2.5 R, or let's just say 2 R on average, just to make it a bit more realistic, because sometimes you're going to exit with 1.5 R when it's pulling back fast, and you think it's better to get out the trade. So let's say it averages out to 2 R. Now, this only makes sense to people who know what R variables, or whatever they're called, are. But basically, if you risk if you make if you risk £1 or $1, I'm doing such a bad job of explaining this. If you risk $1 per trade, just for an easy number to work with, and your target is 2R, whereas your risk is 1R, your risk is $1, your target is $2. If your target's 3R, then your target's $3, your risk is $1. So the point is, try to go for 2.5 to 3R. No, I don't see New Zealand USD being a setup. It's not trending up that well. On the daily, this is very much in, if anything, you would say that it's in a channel. So it might be breaking out of the channel, but it's also got massive resistance here. From about 2 weeks ago. It's also got a pretty significant high here that it will probably struggle at. There is no strong dominant trend on the daily. Yeah, I don't really like this. If it smashes through here at this point, then I would say that we're starting to see a strong trend on New Zealand USD. But right now, we're definitely not seeing a strong trend. So righto, guys. So I think I'm going to wrap this one up. There's not much else to discuss here. Unless there's any questions. Otherwise, just keep an eye on these potential setups. Potential short on GBPAUD. Yeah, potential short on GBPAUD day 1 hour. And for the dailies, we've got GBPUSD. Let's see what happens when it hits this resistance area. Potential short there. And EURGBP stalling out on support. So there's a potential long here. I want to see how this one plays out. So basically just going to wait for this candle to close today and then see if there's a nice setup. It doesn't look like there's any questions. I'm going to wrap this one up and stop staring at my screen. So yeah, thank you guys for attending, and I'll see you for tomorrow's webinar, which should be at the same time. So thank you guys, and bye.